Welcome back. The AAP is going to hold a press conference in a short while from now to release video footage which they claim will exonerate Somnath Bharti. Our correspondent Rishika Barua now joins us live with the story. Rishika, the AAP definitely trying everything to try and defend their beleaguered Delhi Law Minister Somnath Bharti, claiming now that they have footage that will in fact prove that he is innocent.
Well, absolutely. That is what, in fact, this press conference that the Aam Aadmi Party is holding at its office at 4 p.m. is about. They believe that the entire video footage was not adequately represented in the television media. They claim that only a certain section of the video footage was in fact used, and that's why that is what in fact shows that Somnath Bharti is guilty. But actually, if the entire video footage of that night is in fact examined, it tells quite a different story. So what they basically plan to do is that all the footage that they have got from TV channels that were present that night, they've corroborated that footage. They do plan to release the entire footage in order to show exactly what transpired and how, in fact, Somnath Bharti is not guilty of the charges that have been leveled against him. So clearly, this is with the intention to exonerate Somnath Bharti of all charges leveled against him. Sanjana?
Rishika Barua, thank you for bringing us that update. This is the AAP resolving to defend their Delhi Law Minister. And some breaking news coming in. Former President Ehsaan Mani has ripped apart the BCCI and Cricket Australia and the England Cricket Board for their proposal to hijack the international game. In fact, Mani makes it absolutely clear that the proposal by the Big Three, led by the BCCI, raises some serious issues about governance and conflict of interest. But the fact is that the BCCI and the Australian and English boards not only rule the ICC as per their whims and fancy, but also gain significantly financially. Mani, in fact, accuses the three boards of undermining the integrity of the ICC and promoting their own agenda. Right, these allegations, in fact, are coming in from the ex-ICC president, slamming the BCCI for their lack of integrity. And not only the BCCI is even taken on the ECB and the Australian Cricket Board that rule the ICC as per their whims and fancy. And our consulting editor, Sports, Buria Majumdar, now joins us on the phone line with more. Buria, this is not really good. Mani ripping apart the BCCI, claiming that the Big Three are running the ICC as per their whims and fancy.
Correct, and it's a very strongly worded 10-page note which has been sent by Mr. Mani. I mean, this is the first real strong message going out from one of the most credible people who have run the ICC in the past. He actually says the three boards do not address governance issues in terms of their own accountability, checks and balances, and goes on to actually...
Buria, we have the former ICC president Ehsan Mani on joining us on the phone line. If you'd like to take a question with him, Mr. Mani, please go ahead. We understand you've written a scathing note going after the BCCI and the other two boards.
I think that's not the way to look at it. It's not a matter of going after anyone. I've dealt with the points that they have raised strictly on merit of what they say. I point out that this demonstrates a big weakness in the governance system of the ICC, which is of great concern, not only to me, but it should be to any stakeholder in world cricket.
Can I ask Mr. Mani a question?
Yes, Buria, please go ahead.
Ehsaan Bhai, you have written in your note that the three boards have completely undermined the integrity and standing of the ICC, its president and the board of directors, in promoting their own agenda. Now, these are real strong words. I mean, you've gone on to explain how the three boards, while looking at their own self-interest, actually undermines the very position of the ICC, isn't it?
Absolutely. How can you have, I mean, certainly I as ICC president, and certainly my predecessors, whether it was Mr. Dalmia or it was Malcolm Gray, would have never ever stood for a situation where certain members of our board went off and did their own thing and then sort of produced a fait accompli. That was just not on. It's totally unacceptable. It's bad governance. In fact, it's terrible governance. And as you've seen in my paper, what I've said is that these three boards have, they've made a proposal. They've made a proposal under the name of the ICC Finance and Commercial Affairs Committee, without informing the president of the ICC that they were doing this. That, in my, is just an unacceptable level of behavior and incredibly bad governance. But having done that, and that is now history, they should now step aside and let the members, without pressures from India or Australia or England or anyone else, let the members debate the issues, look at it, and respond. But what we have instead is the BCCI saying that unless we get our way, we will not take part in ICC events. I can't think of a worse behavior. BCCI has a great responsibility to cricket in the world. It is the richest cricket board in the world. It has great influence to the cricket lovers of India to behave responsibly. Unfortunately, that is not happening at the moment.
Final question, Ehsan, from my perspective is, what is now going to happen? I mean, do you see boards like Pakistan, South Africa, West Indies standing up to the might of the BCCI? Or do you actually see all of these boards towing the line and allowing the big three to run havoc in world cricket? Do you think they will show spine and stand up to these proposals?
I'm going to be sending to every cricket board in the world. Ultimately, the choice is theirs to consider the points I make and to decide for themselves. I'm not running a cricket board, and I'm not going to start pressurizing anyone to follow my line. That would make me no different to these three countries and their behavior.
Ehsaan Mani, former president of the ICC, thank you so much for speaking with Headlines today, and Buria Majumdar, our consulting editor.